For all its beauty and splendor, the wilderness can be a cruel teacher. Canyoneering is a thrilling journey that invites us to explore the hidden wonders of our planet in an exhilarating way. It's a pursuit of beauty and peril, a dance with nature's raw power that calls thrill seekers and adventurers. The canyons offer a haunting beauty, but they conceal dangers that are as relentless as they are unforgiving. To embark on this journey is to willingly expose yourself to the harsh realities of the wild, where bravery and recklessness walk a thin line. Please click the subscribe and like buttons. This is Outdoor Disasters. Southern Utah encompasses the southernmost portion of the state and is characterized by its distinctive red rock formations, deep canyons, mesas, and high desert terrain. It is part of the Colorado Plateau, a region known for its geological wonders. Southern Utah is home to several iconic national parks, including Zion, Bryce Canyon, Arches, Canyonlands, and Capitol Reef. Each park offers unique geological and scenic features, from towering sandstone cliffs in Zion to the otherworldly rock arches of Arches. The beauty of the Southern Utah wilderness is a testament to the awe-inspiring wonders of our natural world. In this remarkable region, nature has crafted a canvas of colors, textures, and landscapes that ignite the soul with a sense of wonder and humility. Southern Utah is often referred to as the Mecca of canyoneering. Utah boasts numerous canyons suited for canyoneering, with routes varying in difficulty from beginner-friendly to extremely technical. One of these canyons is No Man's Canyon, situated just outside Canyonlands National Park. It's a challenging canyon that requires canyoneering expertise to traverse. Canyoneering combines various elements of adventure, such as hiking, rappelling, climbing, and sometimes even swimming. The physical and mental challenges can be invigorating and rewarding, making it a thrilling experience for outdoor enthusiasts. Canyoneering allows you to explore areas that are often off the beaten path. You'll discover hidden gems, uncover secret passages, and experience the joy of exploring places few people have visited. For David and Louis Cicotello, their canyoneering adventure would be agonizing. It was Sunday, March 6, 2011. Two brothers, David and Louis Cicotello, embarked on a canyoneering excursion in No Man's Canyon, a slot canyon in the Robbers Roost area of southeastern Utah. A fit, experienced mountaineer who summited most of Colorado's 14ers before discovering canyoneering, Louis had been climbing for more than 30 years and exploring canyons for the past 13. He averaged at least 3 desert trips a year, according to the climbers who knew him best, and was meticulous in his approach to rappelling, carefully setting the anchors that he and his fellow canyoneers used to secure the ropes for their descents. He had completed an estimated 600 rappels, many of them in the past few years, with his brother David. At Louis's urging, David took up rappelling in 2006, learning first on a climbing wall near his home in Omaha, Nebraska, and later under Louis's tutelage in Utah's Red Rock Country, where together they explored more than 40 canyons. When I entered kindergarten in 1958, my brother Louis was entering college as a freshman. According to our dear mother, he was a legend. And when you grow up with a brother who has these stellar qualifications, I could have gone one or two ways. I could have become very jealous and very resentful, but I didn't. I was in awe of him, David said. David and Louis embarked on their canyoneering journeys, commencing in 2006. This marked the initiation of what he would refer to as the second phase of bonding with Louis, as it primarily involved just the two of them. These annual escapades, occasionally occurring twice a year, were meticulously planned. In March of 2011, David boarded a flight from Nashville to Colorado Springs, where they would drive into Utah. The initial day was reserved for a brief hike to acclimatize themselves to the surroundings. The highlight of their trip was No Man's Canyon, the North Fork, scheduled for Sunday, March 6th. In anticipation of the adventure, they agreed to contact their loved ones on Thursday before hitting the road. Before departing, David ensured that his significant other, Rhonda Hoffman, had a detailed map and information about their plans. As David was preparing to leave, he put a map together for me, and then he marked it meticulously with yellow highlighter and green, red, and black pen. And he highlighted roads and he labeled 3 different campsites. He listed the dates that he expected to be in each campsite, and I thought it was sweet, Rhonda said. David and Louis had thoroughly scouted the trailhead leading to the North Fork of No Man's Canyon the day before their expedition. Upon parking their truck at the site, they immediately noticed their footprints in the untouched terrain, confirming their solitude. Encounters with other campers or canyon explorers were exceedingly rare in this remote region, making it the perfect backdrop for their adventure. Notably, this canyon was renowned for its awe-inspiring 100-foot exit rappel. The adventurers required only a 60-meter rope for this challenging endeavor. A typical journey through the canyon is approximately 6 hours, and they set out at 9 o'clock in the morning. The expedition involved setting up 4 rappels, with an additional one beyond what had been initially planned. Using a 60-meter rope was a strategic choice for every descent, ensuring safety and preparedness for various scenarios. The crawl to the exit took just over 3 hours. The exit from No Man's Canyon North Fork consisted of 2 distinctive parts. The first segment began from a mantled area and involved a 10-foot drop leading to a small ledge. From there, they descended further, a manageable feat. Upon reaching the final segment, which included a challenging crack exit, Louis glanced at his watch. At precisely 1 p.m., he suggested they pause to have lunch, a predetermined part of their plan. This was when they were in the relatively confined space of the crack exit area, characterized by ledges. They commenced threading the rope while looking for the identifying tape on the rope's midpoint. Upon spotting the tape, they halted their work. The moment the tape was sighted was deemed the rope's midpoint. This detail would later prove crucial to the unfolding events. Throughout their adventures, David seldom challenged his experienced brother, who followed the rule that the most seasoned climber should lead. However, on this occasion, it was David's turn to set up the rappel. The exit crack presented a unique challenge as it sloped for about 20 feet before reaching the canyon's edge. It was a tight and technical descent. David remained at the anchor while Louis initiated the descent. As he passed over the edge, he remarked, "Goes fast," a reference to the rapidity of free rappels. But within moments, he called back, "Oops, the rope is short." A sudden wave of panic coursed through David as he understood the implication of the rope being short. This signaled that the rope had been set up incorrectly, causing an uneven distribution of length, and Louis would eventually run out of rope on the shorter side. Despite Louis's attempt to downplay the situation with a casual, "no biggie," the next event unfolded swiftly. The rope swiftly zipped through the rappel ring and disappeared over the canyon's edge. David did not hear any cries or indications of a hard landing. In his distress, he called out for Louis repeatedly, but there was no response. David immediately shifted his focus to the pressing issue of how to reach his brother. He was trapped in the crack exit area, unable to descend or climb back up to their original point of entry. Overcome with despair, he shed a tear at his current predicament. Desperate to confirm if Louis was still alive, David remained on the ledge and listened carefully for any signs of life. He was eventually rewarded with the sound of his brother moaning. This spurred David into action. He moved to the anchor near the sloping slot and called out Louis's name again, but there was no response. And this would be the last time David heard any audible sounds from his brother. David made a critical decision to prioritize his survival. Determined to make it out of the canyon alive, he set a goal for himself: get to Friday. This mantra became his driving force, a symbol of hope and a lifeline to cling to. With limited supplies, David began deconstructing his backpack, revealing 2 essential items. The first was a piece of styrofoam padding that he used to insulate his body at night, keeping his core warm. The second was a hard plastic piece he fashioned into a help sign and dangled over the edge at the exit slot. David also rationed his food, carefully planning his meals to stretch his limited resources. His meager provisions included a sandwich, cashews, gum, 16 ounces of water, and a liter of iced tea. He resolved to use these supplies conservatively until they ran out. Additionally, David had some climbing equipment, including 2 pieces of webbing, an atriate, and a static rope. The thought of using this equipment to escape crossed his mind, but the physical challenges of the exit slot, especially the daunting rappel distance, dissuaded him from attempting it. During his time on the ledge, David Cicotello maintained a strict daily routine to keep his focus on survival. He watched the birds, sang, and prayed. While Louis weighed heavily on his mind, his primary objective remained clear: survive at all costs. Mr. Cicotello's struggles intensified as the days passed, manifesting as symptoms of dehydration and a rapid heartbeat. He recognized the imminent danger of losing consciousness. Despite the grim circumstances, he clung to his determination to endure and make it to Friday, the day he believed his loved ones would initiate a search and rescue mission based on their missed Thursday call. Thursday came and there was no word. I texted David. I know I texted him a couple of times, even probably Wednesday, knowing he'd never get it. But it made me feel better to text. And on Thursday, I was texting more saying, "Hey, now we're worried. You need to call in. Don't forget to call us." And there was nothing, Rhonda said. Come Friday morning, she dialed the number for the Bureau of Land Management office. She was realizing the remoteness of the wilderness the brothers ventured into. When Rhonda mentioned their campsite near the Chute Canyon to the sheriff, he responded, "Which one?" In scrutinizing the map and its legend, David's seemingly simple descriptor, Campsite 3, concealed a sprawling expanse of 25 miles. Faced with the challenge of conveying the map to the authorities, Rhonda inquired about emailing or faxing it. However, the sheriff's response underscored the remote nature of their location. The sheriff explained his distance from the office, which exceeded an hour, prompting Rhonda to confront her uncertainty about how to proceed while realizing the situation's urgency. She was compelled to find a solution despite the uncertainty that lay ahead. Throughout the entire week, David had been consumed by his thoughts. The days had blurred into one another until Friday arrived, and he eagerly anticipated this day. By that day, he had depleted nearly all his supplies, leaving him with a mere 2 ounces of water. His spirits had sunk, and as he lay down that evening, doubt weighed heavily on his mind. However, a significant shift occurred late at night when he heard the unmistakable sound of a helicopter hovering above. The aircraft briefly illuminated the slot with its searchlight. Witnessing this gave David renewed hope and determination. He sprang to his feet on the ledge and shouted, "I'm here!" Fully aware that his voice couldn't possibly reach the rescuers, but taking solace in the realization that the search was underway. "When I saw that helicopter, my spirits were uplifted, and it was now just waiting for the rescue," he said. Search and rescue went looking in No Man's Canyon, flying up and down the canyon, picking up no signs of life. Led by pilot Luke Bowman, they searched parts of the other canyons in the area. "We saw quite a few different camps and lights, and so we would land down in the canyon and go talk to those people, and none of which had seen David or Louis," Bowman said. Wayne County Search and Rescue had devised a plan to dispatch teams into several different canyons. Bowman, as part of this effort, led the first group into the designated canyon. On their return, they conducted an overflight, passing over No Man's Canyon. During this reconnaissance flight, Bowman observed a set of footprints in the sand, clearly leading into the narrow slot canyon section of No Man's Canyon. Flying at a low and slow altitude, they maneuvered the aircraft over the slot canyon. Their view was restricted due to the tight confines of the canyon, but they traced the footprints down to a substantial drop-off. As they executed a turnaround, Bowman noticed a peculiar opening in the cave wall, where he saw signs of movement. "So, Saturday I'm waiting off and on. I hear the sound of a helicopter. And it was about 1 p.m. when they again came around to the face of that exit slot, hovered there, hit their horn to signal. I stood up in the slot with my help sign," David said. Luke took the lead in coordinating the transportation of the search and rescue team to the designated rock. Once the team was on site, they swiftly established the necessary systems for extracting David from the slot canyon. Shortly after David's rescue, a tactical flight officer on the mission spotted Louis at the bottom of the canyon. This moment evoked a mixture of emotions for Luke and his team. The difficult task of conveying the news to the family was that they had indeed located both individuals, but sadly, one of them had not survived. To relay that completely mixed emotions to the family, like, "Hey, we found them. Unfortunately, one has died," is a really, really tough thing. "That's definitely the hardest part about my job," Bowman said. Once inside the helicopter, David expressed his desire to return to the truck. The sheriff had to tell David the heartbreaking news of his brother's passing. Despite the circumstances, David managed to converse with Rhonda en route to the hospital, a moment that he found particularly comforting. David found himself outside the canyon, yet its emotional impact lingered within him. He felt trapped in a valley of guilt and grief. Seeking guidance and solace, He received a book from his priest titled Interior Freedom by Father Jacques Philippe. In the book, David discovered an insightful perspective where one often needs to come to terms with events they wish had not occurred. A sentiment that deeply resonated with his own experience. He stated, "Assuming the risk in life is part of life, I come away with this profoundly humbled, and that's the beginning of getting through that valley." In the depths of the canyons, where towering walls narrow and silence envelops you, danger lurks in every shadow. The serene pools, carved out by eons of water's relentless force, may hide treacherous currents. The walls, sheer and unforgiving, offer no mercy to those who stumble. The beauty of canyons masks their ruthlessness. Surviving being stranded in a slot canyon can be a challenging and potentially life-threatening situation. Evaluate your resources, including water, food, and any gear you have. Make a plan based on your supplies and the terrain. Create visible signs on the ground to attract attention. Water is your most critical resource. Ration it wisely and only drink when necessary. Look for sources of moisture, like damp rocks. Listen for sounds of search and rescue teams and be ready to signal them when they approach. Maintain a hopeful outlook. Your mental state can significantly impact your ability to endure hardships. Use your surroundings to your advantage. Look for edible plants or insects if your food supply runs out. Remember that people have survived in far more challenging situations. Your determination and will to survive can carry you through. Be prepared for a prolonged stay. Be patient and maintain hope as rescue efforts may take time. Use this time to connect with your inner strength, your beliefs, or the beauty of nature. It can provide comfort and inspiration. Pray, meditate, and/or reflect on good things in your life. Remember, the most critical element in surviving a slot canyon ordeal is your mindset. Stay resilient, stay hopeful, and do everything you can to increase your chances of being found and rescued. Each moment you endure is a testament to your strength and willpower. Essential tips so you can navigate an outdoor disaster. Thank you for watching. Want more outdoor disaster content? Check out these stories I believe you'll enjoy.